Draw lines in silence, faith unspoken. Each chart a psalm, each wick a flame. You whisper risk but mean my name. I am the entry you pray will hold. You are the fear wrapped in the bold. We meet in margins thin as breath, trading longing, flirting death. But what is lost, if not the price of knowing gain? What is pain, but the echo of a sweeter flame? When what is lost, if not the price of knowing gain? What is pain, but the echo of a sweeter flame? You give, I take, in every high I leave alone. We dance in balance between the candlelight and capital. You break, I shape, and still you place your soul below. A fragile faith in something almost rational. You swear this time it's more than chance, that structure sings and charts will dance. But I am chaos clothed in grace. You seek the trend, I shift the pace. And when you win, you worship loud. But when you lose, you curse the cloud. Yet still you stay despite the burn. There's something sacred in return. No God will hold you when it breaks. No prophet saves you from mistakes. But here you are again, becoming more through every act. You give, I take, in every high I leave alone. We dance in balance between the candlelight and capital. You break, I shape, and still you place your soul below. A fragile faith, but somehow it still grows. You call it trading, I call it prayer.
Welcome to the night where we light up the spark. We're trading crypto, find out you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, I shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with rulers by lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trend, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, the financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother lode. Economic loops and the way the dollar flows. Community vibes where everybody grows.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the show. If you know, you know what's going on. How you doing, everybody? Hope you're doing well tonight. It is Sunday, aka Macro Monday. We're going to be taking a look at recent Bitcoin price action. We're going to be going over some news, very moody news, and then look at the week ahead, see what we've got going on, and then we'll take a look at the charts, just break everything down, go over, got a couple of articles regarding this Moody's stuff, and but good evening to everybody. Hope you all had an amazing weekend. This is Markets After Dark. We go mad on the charts right here on the Piper Academy Network from Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Lunar Beaches Crypto, the host of the show. And if you don't know, it is Macro Monday, which means it is time for another edition. It is time for another edition of This Week Tonight. So let's go ahead and just dive right on in. Let's get it set up and let's go. Family, friends, good evening and welcome to This Week Tonight, where we measure credibility in basis points and tiers. Our top story: Moody's has officially downgraded the U.S. credit outlook. The land of the brave, the land of the free, the home of the brave, and now the borrower with a sketchy track record. No big deal though. It's not the credit rating, just the outlook. So kind of like your doctor saying, you're not dead, but you're trending bearish. Why the downgrade? Because we're racking up debt like we think GDP stands for Get Dat Plastic. In other news, meanwhile, President Trump is back at it. The sequel nobody asked for, but we all bought tickets to anyway. This week, he paused tariffs on China for 90 days after raising them from 25% to 145%, and then back down to 30%. It's less economic strategy and more like watching someone try to defuse a bomb by doing the cha-cha slide. Everybody clap. Clap, clap. I can't do it. Everybody clap your hands. Clap, clap your hands. Slide to the left. Export collapse. Whatever. I tried. The man's out here playing Twister with global supply chains. You know what I mean? Anyways, moving on. April's CPI came in at 3.4%. Just cool enough for bulls to scream pivot, but hot enough that Powell's still pretending he's not sweating through his blazer. Trump says prices are down and calls for rate cuts, of course. The Fed says inflation is still sticky and holds rates. But the markets say, YOLO, bro. True. It's a monetary policy Mexican standoff. Nobody wants to blink and everyone's already shot themselves in the foot. Retail sales fell short again. Looks like the American consumer, that mighty engine of growth, is now a 98 Honda Civic running on EBT and buy now, pay never apps. But hey, at least Taylor Swift tickets are still selling, right? God help us if she drops a meme coin or NFT. Now, Bitcoin was back above 105K. It is now fallen below, but that's okay because it's rising faster than Powell's blood pressure during a Trump rally. While the U.S. credit rating slips, BTC does what BTC does best: look smug and defy gravity. Bitcoin doesn't care about tariffs. Bitcoin doesn't care about Moody's. Bitcoin only cares that you forgot to buy the dip. This week's chart of the week, our chart of the week is a simple one, of course. Behold, the U.S. national debt, all $36 trillion of it, rising faster than Dogecoin during a Elon Musk tweet. And yet, we're told everything is fine. We'll grow our way out of this right after we tariff our way into prosperity and print our way into another downgrade. So, to recap, Moody's is spooked. Trump's back to slapping tariffs like it's 2018. Inflation's not dead. Debt is vertical. And Bitcoin's off doing keg stands. This is this week's tonight. This week tonight. Where the only thing downgraded faster than our credit rating is our collective faith in fiscal discipline. See you next week, unless the U.S. gets margin called. Thank you. What's going on, everybody? Oh, how you doing? How you doing? That was fun. Another This Week Tonight in the books. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy putting those things together. It is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and bring up the Madhouse. What's going on, guys? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's say good evening to everybody. Good evening, Alexandra G, the Mod Queen. Thank you for being here, as always, and pinning that Discord link in the chat. Guys, join the Discord. $5 for all kinds of alpha. You can't really find a better deal out there, so just go ahead and check out that Discord arena. Mike Volmer, got to get up early, just stopping in to hit the like. Thank you, Mike, for stopping by. If I missed you, we'll see you next time. But get that rest. I know everybody needs rest before work. Indie Rock Crypto, love ya. Thank you. Love you too, bro. Thank you, IRC. Jesse, good luck. Good morning, Jesse. Indie Rock Crypto says, insane what you can create. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm getting kind of good with the AI prompts, and I really want to spend some money on these AI music makers things because I feel like I could make some bangers. But we'll see. Robert Mulligan's in the house. What's going on, Robert Mulligan? Thank you for being here. All set, my good friend. Thank you for being here. All set. Kelly as well. Good evening, Kelly. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Wick 589. Thank you for being here, bro. I really appreciate you and everybody else. I like the Moody Blues. Won't you take me back to school? There you go. Intro was fire. Thank you. LOLBC, that was great. Thank you. Hey. Loved it. You guys are amazing. I do appreciate each and every. I'm listening Def Leppard right now. I appreciate all of you for being here. It is Macro Monday. Let's go ahead and get into today's top story before we get into anything else regarding the market, because this is the news of the week, probably. Let me see if I can find the right thing. There we go. David Gelfin, thank you for being here as well. Good evening, Earthlings. Good evening, R.S. Miller. I thought I said good evening. All right. Moody's downgrades United States credit rating, citing growth in government debt. Moody's ratings cut the United States sovereign credit rating down one notch to AA1 from AAA. Is it AAA or is it one? Is it capital A, double, lowercase a? The highest possible, citing the growing burden of financing the federal government's budget deficit and the rising cost of rolling over existing debt amid high interest rates. This one-notch downgrade on our 21-notch rating scale reflects the increase over more than a decade in government debt and interest payment ratios to levels that are significantly higher than similarly rated sovereigns. the rating agency said in a statement. Now, this is probably kind of bearish for the dollar, which means assets could see a spike up, but we'll see. The decision to lower the United States credit profile would be expected at the margin to lift the yield that investors demand in order to buy U.S. Treasury debt to reflect more risk, and could dampen sentiment toward owning U.S. assets, including stocks. That said, all the major credit rating agencies continue to give the United States their second highest available rating. The yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note climbed 3 basis points in after-hours trading at 4.48%. The iShares 20-plus year Treasury bond ETF, a proxy for longer-term debt prices, fell about 1% in after-hours trading, while the S&P 500 ETF trust that tracks the benchmark index for U.S. stocks dropped 0.4%. Moody's had been a holdout in keeping U.S. sovereign debt at the highest credit rating possible. It brings the 116-year-old agency into line with its rivals. Standard & Poor's downgraded the U.S. to AA plus from AAA in August 2011. I actually remember that. And Fitch Ratings also cut the U.S. rating to AA plus from AAA in August 2023. Quote, successive U.S. administrations and Congress have failed to agree on measures to reverse the trend of large annual fiscal deficits and growing interest costs, Moody's analyst said in a statement. We do not believe that material multi-year reductions in mandatory spending and deficits will result from current fiscal proposals under consideration. Massive deficit. The U.S. is running a massive budget deficit as interest costs for Treasury debt continue to rise due to a combination of higher rates and more principal debt to finance. The fiscal deficit in the year that began October 1st is already running at $1.05 trillion, 13% higher than a year ago. Revenue from tariffs helped shave some of the imbalance last month. In a statement accompanying the downgrade, Moody's analyst wrote that if the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is extended, which is our base case, it will add around $4 trillion to the federal fiscal primary, excluding interest payments deficit over the next decade. So basically, it's not looking too great for the U.S. Let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Scott Bessent. I think it's Scott Bessent. Yep, Scott Bessent. We're going to listen to this. We're going to listen to this little thing here and see what he had to say over here on CNBC.
This big news from Walmart. It says it will start raising prices on its consumers, Mr. Secretary, as early as this month due to the tariffs. Now, President Trump out with a very stern warning on social media saying Walmart, quote, should eat the tariffs, adding the company made far more than expected last year. Is the president asking American companies to be less profitable?
I was on the phone with Doug McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, yesterday, and Walmart is, in fact, going to, as you describe it, eat some of the tariffs that just as they did in 18, 19, and 20. The other thing, though, that we are seeing that Doug passed along to me, that with their consumer, the single most important thing is the gasoline price. And gasoline prices have collapsed under President Trump. So we are seeing that. The other thing that will happen, that is a direct tax cut for consumers. Then the transportation costs are also a big input. So let's see what happens. What you were describing was Walmart's earnings call. The other thing that companies have to do, they have to give the worst case scenario so that they're not sued. So, I think overall we are seeing a decline in services, inflation, and we saw inflation come down for the first time in 4 years.
Well, in my conversation with former Vice President Mike Pence, he says he sees tariff as a tax. How far, Mr. Secretary, is the president, is the administration willing to go to prevent CEOs from increasing prices?
Well, I think what we are hearing here is that people are saying tax increases are inflationary, that when I was testifying before Congress last week. One of the congressmen said that, and I said, well, Congressman, if taxes are inflationary, let's cut taxes. So let's get this tax bill done, bring down taxes, which, according to this line of thinking, should be disinflationary.
But the Federal Reserve has said that tariffs are inflationary. Just to be very clear, you said you called Walmart. Is that what CEOs can expect, that the president, that other members of the administration will apply pressure to try to prevent them from passing on these prices to CEOs?
I didn't apply any pressure. Doug and I have a very good relationship, so I just wanted to hear it from him rather than second, third hand from the press. And again, as I said, this is all from their earnings call, and on an earnings call, you have to give the worst case scenario. Kristen, to go back to what you said, the Federal Reserve is not saying that tariffs will cause inflation. They're saying they're not sure and that they're in wait and see mode.
Wait and see mode. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think inflation is coming back? Is it rearing its ugly head? How are prices in your neck of the woods? Gas prices in your neck of the woods? In my neck of the woods, they've been hovering around $2.50. I've even seen as low as $2.39. Of course, I am in Tennessee, so we get cheap gas. What's going on, Melissa? One Love, thank you for being here. Stro Man, thank you for joining as well. I think I saw a harp. Yes, we do have a harp sighting. Thank you for being here, harp. Do appreciate y'all. Inflation is already in effect. Yeah, probably. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it seems like they're just LBC is drinking a Ghost. No, I'm not. Higher inflation is imminent. Indeed. I think so. And I think people are getting a little bit too hasty when it comes to these tariffs. Because I think that the effects of the tariffs are very lagging. It usually takes 1 to 3 months or so before you really start to feel the effects of the tariffs. And considering the fact that, I mean, we have seen for sure trucking almost come to a complete halt. We've seen imports had come to a complete halt. Now, because of the delay between China, because of the delay in the tariffs, even though we still are technically sitting at higher tariffs than where we began with China, we still did open up some stuff to where we can start getting some more imports moving. But then again, we would still have like a whole month. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe it won't be too bad, because smart businesses go ahead and buy in bulk anyway. They lose about maybe a month in revenue because of the tariffs. People stopped. Did people stop buying? That's what I want to know. Did people stop buying? I don't know. It's gonna be difficult. So we going through this again every 90 days. Every 90 days, man, David. Every 90 days, Dave. This is our life now. It's just Groundhog Day. Every 90 days, we'll just start the tariff machine back going again. We'll get a correction, and then 30 days after that, we'll pump, and then we'll go back to 90-day tariffs. Whichever way it is, whatever works. That's why I say the best indicator right now is to just go to Truth Social. And actually, I tried to do it, and I don't think I could find it. But perhaps go to X and follow at Donald Trump Jr. or at Real Donald Trump. and Donald J. Trump, I think. And just turn on notifications, post notifications. That way, when you get them, you can see, oh, Trump just said tariffs back on, hit short. Oh, Trump said tariffs off, long. It's kind of how it's been for the past little while now. I stopped buying after my last tariff invoice. Not worth buying at the net cost now. Oh wow. Wait, do you buy like all your rigs and stuff up from overseas, RMT? Thank you for being here, Retro Mike. Good advice. He controls the market. Yeah, he does, man. I'm just saying. It's not financial advice, but I'm just saying. Car crash and drinking. That's the charts. Car crash, drinking. All right, so guys, Bitcoin did get a push. Well, first, let's just back up really quick. So, got the highest weekly close of all time for Bitcoin, closed at $106,473 per the Coinbase spot chart. That is the highest close of all time for Bitcoin. Not only did we get it on the weekly, we also got it on the daily. Highest close on the daily with the previous highest close. Let's see, 106, 159, 106, 136. So this was the highest close here. And you can see we did close above that level ever so slightly, but we did close above it and then immediate reversal. So is this a failure to swing above the highs? No, because it's not this high. Was it a failure to swing above this high? Yes. Yes, indeed it was. 4 hour, we did get a 4 hour candle close above, was looking pretty good, and then we got the massive rejection. Now, I pointed this out in the Discord, the Piper Academy Discord. Make sure you join. Pointed this out about the CME. We come down here to the 5 minute. We can see, and that's exactly where we're getting into right now, is the CME gap that opened up the week, and that is what we have come down to. And we have left a little bit of a gap right back up here at about 106, 365 to 106, 550 on the CME chart. So we'll see if it wants to make a little bit of a move back up here before reversing back to the downside, which I still think is probably what we are likely to see. Let's go back over to the Coinbase chart. We've been talking about that ABC correction. Now it looks even more clear to me that, well, I was going to say that this could be running an expanded or running flat. So we can either come up in here, get the sweep, come down, take the lows but not create a new low, then reverse and then continue higher. That would be a running flat. Or we can do an expanded flat where we get a deviation above and below the range and then continue to the upside. Either way, I do see upside continuation, and either way, I do see a little bit more downside before we do ultimately head back to the upside and take out that all-time high. We shall see. I was actually saying in the Discord, and I've been saying this just in general on the shows and all that, is that I would actually prefer it if we would just kind of chop about and take care of these lows and just kind of take our time before making our next move to the upside, because we've gotten up pretty quickly and have gotten a little bit overheated. Not too much, but a little bit overheated, enough for us to need to get a cool down. We can see our money flow just really curving to the downside, and then Our trend fusion pushing up to the overbought zone, getting a confirmed reversal signal in here after multiple reversal signals up in here, so that we know that these reversal signals do come early. And so we were just waiting for the right move, and we did get the swing failure pattern. And now we'll see if we come down lower. My question, I'm still thinking that, you know, it's really tricky. The wave count here is really tricky. I'm not sure if we're gonna do something like this, getting this being A and then B and then C, or is it going to be, because I was thinking we might have already run up the ABC here, because we did have a steep A. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can actually see what the heck I'm doing over here. So I was thinking potentially we got A, B, C. C's can get front run. Okay, it's not a rule that it has to take out wave A. Okay, it can be front run. It gets front run all the time in running flats. But we can see we did come up. I was hoping that we would see this continue to the upside, and this would be a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. That is not what we got. That would be on the lower time frames that I was looking at that. I was looking at this as possible impulse. 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I was expecting just an A, B, C. Maybe not that low, but that's what we got. We got an A, B, C. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another A, B, C. I mean, this is ugly. It's not the best looking waves in here. So for now, I'm just playing. I'll just be looking at it as like a range type of deal, where we've swept the top of the range. Okay, we've swept the top of the range, gotten that deviation above the range, and more likely than not, we will see a deviation below the range before we reverse. So something like that. Considering the Moody's news, it would not be surprising if we did see retail overreact to the news. Yeah, just, I shouldn't say overreact, but react to the news. Come tomorrow morning, and we'll just have to see. That is 100K as well. We're really wanting that to hold. What I actually really want to hold is this, not this low right here. Be nice if this low could hold here at 93,300. We do have all of these, all of these lows in here that are potential areas of interest to come down to and take some liquidity. We've seen something similar to this before. No. Moving so slow. Come on. Get moving, buddy. Get moving, bud. This isn't quite it. Quiet. This is not quite it. Not is it then? There it is. Something similar. You see the push to the highs. I don't know that I would call that it either. Hold on, let's take a look. Bring, 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 bring. Oh yeah, I guess that would be it. Yep. Let's just go ahead and take a bars pattern. That's not a bars pattern. Bars pattern. Something like this. Let's just go ahead and take a look-see. Yo, why you all the way up here at 100K? What's going on? What's going on, family? Boom, 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 boom. You guys like the song at the beginning that I created? I created it with AI. I'm getting really good with the prompts for one. For two, also gave it lyrical styles and musical styles that I wanted, and how I wanted it broken down, how I wanted the singer to sing at certain times, and all that kind of good jazz. Certain breakdowns. When do I want the breakdown here, a breakdown there? You know, good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, is this what is in store for Bitcoin? God, I hope not. I really hope not. Good thing it doesn't look very similar. Yes, LBC sing is fire. Song is fire. There you go. It's kind of funny, that song. I like it. Yeah. So what I did was I told it to write me a trading song with the same lyrical style as Vessel from Sleep Token. It kind of gave me a little milquetoast version of it, and then I was like, no. I need you to do more of this and this, and do this and this, do this here, do this there, and it really rounded out pretty good, I think. It's kind of epic, to be honest, kind of epic if you ask me. But yeah, so looking like more downside for Bitcoin. We'll see how it goes. But we do have the Bitcoin dominance rising because altcoins are not, they're kind of falling with Bitcoin and not holding up as well as Bitcoin, which is not what we wanted to see. We wanted the altcoins to show some strength as Bitcoin went into corrective mode, and right now that is not happening. So still not looking great. Or I shouldn't say still not looking great. I should say still cautiously optimistic about price, about higher prices, and a new all-time high coming soon. Just got to be patient. Got to be patient. See what happens. Now let's take a look at our stock futures. Take a look at the S&P 500. We did break the high last week. Very good. Got daily closes above. Looking amazing. But we did get 3 drives to the upside with some bearish divergences in here. So we've got to be careful. We don't really have anything on the economic calendar for this week as far as like major impact. Existing home sales, and that's about it. Nothing really crazy this week for the economic data side. But we did just get the Moody stuff, which could spook the markets at least for a week, enough to get a correction potentially down into previous gaps here for the S&P before it ultimately returns back to the upside. I still am seeing more upside on the horizon. If it can hold that low, even better. We'll just see. That gap in there, though, does exist, so we just need to be aware that things could come down quickly. They can also go right back up just as quick. And that would still be holding, our overall trend. Still would be holding overall trend, putting in higher highs and higher lows. So that'd be good as long as it doesn't come down and break this low. S&P is good. NASDAQ is going to be around the exact same thing. Yep. Got that push up into the resistance area, and we'll see. It just seems like we're probably in correction territory. I really don't see, same with the Dow Jones. Now the Dow Jones is the only one that hasn't broken that swing high. That the Nasdaq and the S&P have broken. So maybe it's time for the Dow Jones to catch up this week. Maybe get its sweep while the others don't push much higher at all. This could also be an SMT divergence compared to the other two, where the Dow Jones fails to put in a new high, while the S&P puts in a new high, not a new all-time high, but just a new high based off of this swing over here. And that is SMT divergence that ultimately leads to a reversal, at least a cool down period. Markets still digesting data, and we did just get the Moody news, so we must be very cautious, okay? Our Russell 2000 did crack the high. However, it has since fallen back below it and is now using it as resistance. But this could just be a consolidation before a stronger breakout. We'll just have to wait and see. You know me, guys, I like to wait for Monday to play out before I really get a good gauge for how I think the week is going to go. But right now, I'm kind of seeing just some downside and some consolidation, pretty much. The USDT dominance looking like it might be trying to push back up briefly, coming back up here and testing this area for resistance. If that can be successful and turn back to the downside, then we could see some more pushing to the upside for the risk on assets. I like Tom Crown's little saying that he posted on X. He said, "Stay in May, moon in June," meaning, okay, May might get a little bit crazy. You know, we pop up, we come back down, what have you, and then moon in June. Very possible. Very possible. We'll see. Definitely a possibility. Our 2 and our 10. We are back over a 50-point spread between our 2 and our 10, which is an early recessionary signal. I was going over Google Trends actually earlier today, and I was seeing that recession was actually not trending whatsoever. Like, nobody was searching for recession. So it's almost like nobody's really concerned about recession at this moment. But then you go and you look at the gold trends, and it is just sky high compared to stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, a recession, just bonds, everything. Gold was just the top, at the very top, like an interest for Google Trends. So pretty crazy. Like, I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a signal in and of itself. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? Moody News is nothing. If they had announced that on a weekday, it would have affected the market. Yeah. Maybe. As like a short-term news type of deal. I think, I don't know. I think the fact that, you know, we didn't just absolutely dump when markets opened, that maybe it's not going to be too big of a deal, but I do think that we still see this pullback. And I also think that because history shows that Bitcoin tends to, or doesn't break out into a new all-time high until after the stock indices break into new all-time highs. So your Dow Jones, your S&P, and your Nasdaq. Bitcoin follows them once they have broken their all-time highs. This is a daily, no, it's a weekly. Weekly fair value gap, 3-day. What is this block? Why do I have this block here? 12 hour? I don't understand. What is this random? Why is this block just randomly here? It's a nothing. It's for nothing. I'm curious what Asia is going to do tonight. It's been open for a while. All right, so Ethereum has the weekly fair value gap. We also did break this downwards trend. Take in more highs here. There we go. And we can see that weekly fair value gap does would kind of bring us into the potential for the back test of the break of this falling, broadening wedge. Breakout, back test, and then go. We'll see, because then that kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3. Remember, 3 always breaks the highs of the range. 4, and then 5. Then send it higher. So don't say it can't do it. Don't say it's impossible. You can say it's unlikely if that's what you believe because of macroeconomic conditions. Very possible. Very possible that doesn't happen. But don't say it is impossible, because you never know. Anything can happen in these markets. Markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Asia for the remainder of the session. Let's take a look. It's hard to say what the remainder of the session will look like, but we can take a look. Binance. Okay. Lower. What it looks like to me. Take a look at, where's my spaceman? I need my levels here. Previous day low, we'll probably go ahead and take that out at the very least. Previous daily low right here at 103.38, $103,038. I think we will at least come down to that. We do have the previous weekly low down here as well at 100,689. So if I had to guess, we're going to take those out. And then continue to the upside. We'll see. There's that high there. There's that low there. Previous week low. Previous week high. We open up the week. Did we open up? Yeah, we open up the week, sweeping the previous week high. There's your first indication that we are going to be bearish for the week, or at least be bearish to run it back down to the previous week low and then run it back to the upside. Now we are coming up on the previous week midpoint, which we could see a bounce from, a temporary bounce from, coming into this imbalance right here. This one that broke this low in here, come back into that, and then continue to the downside. Perhaps we get a 5-wave crashing structure, which could be the case. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have a 1, 2, 3. Okay. The reason why it's a 1, 2, 3 is because once this breaks here, should have been 3, but we came back down into the territory of wave 1, invalidating that. And then we also didn't get the conviction push above this high over here, and we fell back into the range, making this an ABC. And then we can get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crashing structure. That's a 5, 3, 5. So Caliph, member LBC, you haven't answered. LOL. What do you think about the XRP CME futures trading starting tomorrow, good or bad? Wait, do what? Mm, 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 2 months. LBC. PM Kelly Fant 8044. PM Kelly Fant member. 2 months. LBC, you haven't answered. LOL. What do you think about the XRP CME futures trading starting tomorrow? Good or bad? Typically, when you get futures trading opening up for the first time, you will see an initial push to the upside, but then you'll see a sell-off. It's typically how it goes. Good evening, Army Piper. How you doing, sir? Hope you've had an amazing weekend. Trying to manage expectations around here. Trying to be pie bears around here. Okay, not really bearish, but just kind of being cautiously optimistic as always. Cautiously optimistic as always. Yep, I definitely see XRP get that push, a further push to the downside, coming back down to the bottom of this range. Go ahead and pull up from low to high in here. Of course, we could come back down to that golden pocket right here. Busy damn weekend. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Definitely feel you on that one. If we go from the absolute low to the absolute high, then we still have that downside target of $1.53. Between $1.4385 and $1.535. So potentially could see those levels on XRP. Let's go ahead and bring up fixed range volume profile. Ooh, don't like that one, do we? More data. More data, please. The 786 all the way down to $1. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe I need something that actually has some history on this thing. More history on the USD pairing? Yes. So yeah. This is what I was looking at last week. We have broken the high. We have been able to sustain above the high. But with the ETFs coming in, you just got to remember, I mean, if we just go back to Bitcoin, when its ETFs were released, crossing trend. Oh. Bitcoin ETFs were in here. You got the initial push to the upside. Oh, I thought I had to sneeze. Yeah, you got the initial push to the upside, but then you got the sell the news event type deal. Okay. And considering the Moody's news coming out right when XRP is about to launch, XRP may not even get a chance to get that initial rally before the collapse. I say collapse, but before the pullback. So yeah, just watching, waiting, commiserating. Yep. Take a look here. Putting in a hidden bullish divergence here, but that doesn't mean that it will hit immediately. Could still come back down. Back test that $1.97 again. Let's go ahead and pull up the Market Oracle Pro Plus. We are still well above the dynamic reactor on the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. See how we're looking on that. Still above the dynamic reactor on the daily, with daily dynamic reactor coming in at $2.20, which has been a level that has been trying to hold for, or that has been holding for quite some time now. So we'll see. We'll see if it can continue to hold that level and continue to consolidate within this range and get tighter and tighter before getting a big break. Ethereum, getting a back test right on top of that weekly. Well, it hasn't touched the weekly dynamic reactor or weekly fair value gap yet, because this wick right here is the one that created the fair value gap. So it could still come down a little bit lower, and I kind of expect it to, and see if it can't. Now, just because it pierces the dynamic reactor doesn't mean it can't come right back above it, but that is going to be a level of support. But essentially, that is that weekly fair value gap that is needing to act as support. I want to see Ethereum close above this 2330 level on the week. We can do whatever we want to do throughout the week, but as long as we come back up and close above it, I think we are still in good shape from a chart perspective. Bitcoin looking like it's continuing to fall. Now these diamond patterns typically, we're getting a back test of the diamond right here, right with the dynamic reactor here on the 1 hour at least. We'll see if that can hold, but we're coming back into the diamond. Typically diamonds are reversal patterns, and you typically do not break out bullishly and then come back down. Typically, it's not an always thing, obviously, and we just turned red on our candle here on the Market Oracle Pro Plus. Don't forget to check out Chart Prime, link in the description box down below. 45% off your first month. Great indicator suite. You get live trading sessions or live educational trade education sessions with OC Guy and Alex O Crypto. And OC is the chart man. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying someone else that is not here or is part of this stream is the chart man. Okay, I appreciate that so much. It is what it is. Misspelled the name. Tutu, welcome Tutu. Welcome Tutu. Busy day tomorrow. Gotta get a tow hitch on my vehicle in the morning. Gonna drop all the DCA plans for the week. Drop links for OC, and he is running the show in the morning. There you go. LOL LBC, you're the chart man too. No, I'm not. I already took it personally, and that's how it is. That's how it's now. You and me aren't good anymore, Kelly. We're just not good anymore. We're not friends. I guess we never were friends. That's just how it is. Just kidding. I can't keep up that. I can't keep that up. I can't keep that up. All right. Can Bitcoin hold the $1 trillion question? Speaking of $1 trillion, our total market cap is sitting at 3.22 trillion. I do remember this one being at 3.3, yet 3.35 trillion. That would be amazing. You're the EU man. Oh, thanks. Cool. Has chart Yoda vibes. There we go. I'm definitely a huge Star Wars fan, so I guess that's a good thing. You're the EW man. Why am I the EU man? Why am I EU? Is it because I'm David? That's all I. Because of that show, Schitt's Creek. That is all I hear now. I hope y'all know that, right? From my friends. My friends always ew, David. Ew, David. And I'm just like, shut up. Don't like you people. How would I ever know about fair value gaps without LBC? Oh, well, there's probably tens of videos out there. But anyways. All right. Wrong button. That's that's gonna be it for tonight's show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget, there's not a whole lot of economic data this week, so could just be free for all. So just be careful. Trading should be typically easier during weeks without economic data. So just follow your rules, use proper risk management, and I think you'll be okay. I don't think it was OC that called the 52-week SMA. Well, you know. Anyways. Yeah. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Good Morning Crypto with BC Port Corp, and then we'll have morning market report, I guess, without Army Piper. We'll have the OC guy running the show, and then OC will be running Trading with OC in the evening, and then we'll be right back here for TA Tuesday on another Markets After Dark, where we go mad on the charts. I'm going to bring up the song again that I played at the beginning. You guys let me know in the chat if you guys are rocking it or not. And yeah, but until tomorrow, I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical sleep. And I'll catch you then. Mad love. Peace out.
You rise before the world is woken. Draw lines in silence, faith unspoken. Each chart a song, each wick a flame. You whisper risk but mean my name. You pray will hold. You are the fear wrapped in the bold. We meet in margins thin as breath, trading longing, flirting death. But what is lost if not the price of knowing gain? What is pain but the echo of a sweeter flame? When what is lost, if not the price of knowing gain? What is pain but the echo of a sweeter flame? You give, I take, in every high I leave alone. Between the candlelight and capital, you break, I shape, and still you place your soul below. A fragile faith in something almost rational. You swear this time it's more than chance, that structure sings and charts will dance. But I am chaos clothed in grace. You seek the trend, I shift the pace. And when you win, you worship loud. But when God will hold you when it breaks. No prophet saves you from mistakes, but here you are again, becoming more through every year. You give, I take, in every high I leave alone. We dance in balance between the candlelight and Capitol. You break, I shape, and still you place your soul below. A fragile faith, but somehow it still grows.
You call it trading. I call it prayer.
Welcome to the night where we light up the spark. We're trading crypto, finance, you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, the financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to